What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Outshopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leads, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you, too. For I'd wonder if I'd shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane instead of hitting subscribe to the channel. I don't know. I just felt like doing that. It's the dog days of summer, baby. It is August 14th here by the time you listen to this lovely Monday. 9 games here on tap. I'm thinking about the NFL. I know you're thinking about the NFL too. Just wanted to throw it out there. Every single Friday, you are going to receive Lindy's Leads, Likes, and Locks in the NFL Street. I have been in the lab. I'm very excited about that. Going to be doing Sundays. I'm going to be covering all the games on Sundays. Primetime games, hey, maybe I can jump in and answer some questions. I'm going to primarily be focusing on that in the premium Discord, but all Sunday games, all season long, and then I'm sure we'll have a Thanksgiving slate. I'm sure we'll talk a little Christmas. I'll put a little hat on and do a dance for you. You want me to dance? I'll do it. I'll literally do anything for a like. But also BetMGM, sign up there because then you get the premium Discord stuff like, I don't know, Baltimore money line that we hammered hard live. Felt good. The live portion only because I forgot to put it in earlier. But then we were able to catch up there. Baltimore plus 120 over on DK. Caught that one live. They made us sweat for it. And then Cedric Mullins came in and did God mode things. So that was nice. What was not nice was betting Oakland and them giving up 6 runs to the Nationals in the 9th inning because that's pain and suffering. But anyway, these are just me lamenting the things that happened on Sunday. Friday, we hit both locks. Hey, little momentum. Awfully how quiet that timeline was. Awfully how quiet it gets when I hit both locks. Just saying. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to win you more money. That's what I'm going to do. Over at BetMGM, 2 months of that premium Discord as well as up to $1,000 back in bonus bets only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. We got Jacob Roach. Yes, Papa Roach here on the turntables. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give an F. Let's cover a 9-game slate, and I'll start breathing. You know what's really nice? This shade of blue, it matches my eyes. It makes me look pretty. You know what's not fun? The dog days of summer where you don't have all the lines. We have 6, I believe 5, kind of 6, depending on where you're looking at. Any main spot we're looking at here? Yeah, 5 lines officially in for the 9 games, but I have some plays that I'm definitely targeting in the evening window. So we're going to talk through all of those goodies. Well, not here. I don't like this betting line. Houston, Miami. Pretty wild to see Framber Valdez inside of minus 150. That feels like a playoff type scenario, but that should speak to 2 things. 1, how much more improved this Miami team is, and 2, how this Miami ballpark suppresses runs. Because again, run creation is such a big part of why you're seeing this minus 145 deal. You put them on the moon or Coors Field or Albuquerque. That's a Weird Al song. That's a weird reference. But minus 145, friends. Definitely not going to be laying that here. I think it's perfectly efficient going up against this Miami squad, mainly because Braxton Garrett, another southpaw who's pretty efficient in his own right. We know the ground ball rate, even though it's down for a Framber Valdez on one side, he's still finding ways to be effective. He's given up some runs from time to time, but you have that no-hitter, whichever. Michael Lorenzen has a no-hitter. Are we going to just back him every time out? Probably not. But 25.2% K rate there for Valdez is actually inferior to that of Garrett, 25.7%. Now, both of these guys give up a lot of hard contact, but both of them right around 50% for a ground ball rate for Garrett, right around 55% for Framber Valdez. So that's what they do. They have to do that kind of stuff. And it's a great ballpark to be pitching if you're Framber Valdez. I'll be paying attention to props, baby, props. That's all I can really tell you from this one because 8, although I thought about taking an under, again, 8 being a key number, a 4-4 tie here. Both of these offenses have enough power, enough responsibility that I don't want to get out of line here with this one. So first game of the day. Happy to just hit pass on this unless a proper 2 show up. I'm looking at you, Kyle Tucker. I'm looking at you, Jordan Alvarez. Yeah, that left on left thing, you might get a devalued type number there, even though, well, probably shouldn't. So what am I getting at here? What am I trying to say? Yeah, Miami money line, if you had to do something, mainly for the value. But I'm not really about plus 130 against Houston with Framber Valdez on the mound. Are you? Yeah, because I'm not either. Let's get into plays, and I do have a lot of plays from these next 8 games now. Some of them are in the prop department, and some of them are not. For Pittsburgh, I do expect them to call up some AAA fool of some sort, mainly because as teams have nothing to play for, they're just going to call up random guys here in spots like this. I do think it sets up for Quinn Priester, but considering he has an 8.75 ERA, 1.90 whip, I can totally understand why they're not gung-ho about announcing him as the starter right away here, and maybe they have somebody they want to take a look at. So it is what it is. It's kind of like when you're fighting with your girlfriend. Again, this is married man, but it's kind of like when you're fighting with your girlfriend and you're like, man, this is really bad for me. It's not great. And you go to the bar and there's that cute honey just sitting over in the corner and you want to buy her a couple drinks because it's like, hey, I just kind of want to like feel that flirtatious vibe. I want to see what it's like to be alive again. And it's probably not going to go well. And you're probably going to go back to your girlfriend at home and hang out and do whatever else. And you're going to talk yourself into like, you know what, maybe it's not that bad. And then they're going to get shelled for 9 earned runs and you're definitely not going to get back together with them ever again once you break up. That's probably what's going to happen to Quinn Priester. And then they're probably not going to find that person. They're going to talk a lot at the end of the bar. It's going to be a whole thing. You don't want to do that. Like talk about, am I interested? But I'm not really interested. But now I'm interested. And we're going to just wonder if we're going to get hyped up to make bad decisions. Play a game just called Just the Tip, just to see how it feels. Just for a bit. On the other side of this game, though, if it's not going to be Quinn Priester, I'm looking at Carlos Carrasco, who has weirdly kind of found a little bit of form from time to time. Now, my model does not like him, mainly because I'm taking a lot of the hard hit data, taking a lot of the things that have happened within the last few games. But against the Cubs, pretty tilting there to look at him giving up just 2. I know I was on the over of that game. It's why it's a red X on my sheet. I am terrible at this. Anyway, 2 earned runs, friends, in those 5 innings, but I do expect him to be limited. Again, 74, 75 pitches. I don't expect it to be the case for guys like Senga, guys who are going to be a part of this rotation going forward that they just want to give more innings to. Probably call up some AAA guys, but the Mets, for all intents and purposes, are not trying to win baseball games when you trade Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer. I think that should be pretty apparent. So, also pretty apparent to me, Jack Suwinski against Carlos Carrasco giving up hard contact seems like a good play if we're going to get better than plus 350 in this ballpark, which I 100% expect. 21 homers on the season for Suwinski, almost all of them against righties, 493 expected slugging, 48.2% hard hit percentage. That's about all I got for you with this one until we see who the fool for Pittsburgh is that is throwing the baseballs. We'll probably hear a lot about that little outburst of whatever. But Jack Suwinski to home run, just a lean, just to see how it feels. I'm going to call this Braves chop thing. That's going to be a hammer because we're going to hammer this one. This is an absolute hammer. We've got the Atlanta Braves. They're going to be hosting the New York Yankees. And I don't know what's going on with Aaron Judge. Do you know what's going on with Aaron Judge? Because this is not Aaron Judge that we are watching playing baseball right now. He still has a 64.1% hard hit percentage, still has a 769 expected slugging. So in the hard hit department, yes, for the course of this season, still looking flames, but I gotta say, until this last week, the guy was ice baby. He might as well have just been out with a brand new invention. I'm just saying, Aaron Judge, not exactly the best stuff that I've seen here of late. Now, again, started to figure it out here a little bit over the weekend. Good for him. Happy about it. 22 homers now, overall 1 OPS. I'm not going out of my way to pick on Aaron Judge, but they need Aaron Judge to be God mode and start rattling off a lot of baseball games because there aren't many left. 60-58 are the New York Yankees. I'm not going to say, Yankees, pack it in. That's not something that they're ever going to do. But part of the reason that they're going to have to pack it in is really bad decisions when it comes to starting pitchers. They gave Luis Severino too much leash. We were betting against him ad nauseum. Yes, big word for the day. We were also figuring out other opportunities of they traded away Jordan Montgomery last year for an outfielder. Guess what? They have a lot of outfielders. In fact, they have guys like Billy McKinney that they just picked up off the street. Jake Bauers off the street. They've made them serviceable, especially against righties that, for me, it's a little bit strange that they went out of their way to go get Harrison Bader as if that was going to be some big improvement, while Jordan Montgomery has been serviceable his entire time in the big leagues, and that trade still makes no damn sense to me. Also, they weren't really players at the deadline for anything. Maybe it was recognition of how good Tampa Bay is, how good Baltimore is, and they just pack it in. Just pack it in. Give it a little packaroo. But Max Fried on the other side, friends, this dude has been electric through his first couple starts. 191 expected batting average, 25.9% K rate. If this kind of stuff continued, like those two specific numbers, in addition to a sub 5% walk rate, a 1.5 degree average launch angle, and a 66.3% ground ball rate, we would be talking about the best pitcher in baseball. Now, that is not the way that I perceive Max Fried. He was out for 3 months, literally almost to the dot 3 months. Has a 2.50 ERA, 1.06 whip, but it's only 2 starts since he got pulled off the IL. So I'm not going out of my way to see he's going to be perfect. He's going to be an unbelievable god. But this is a pitching matchup of epic mismatch proportions. Whatever. 42.3% hard hit percentage, 22.2% K rate, a 6.3% walk rate is about the only nice thing I have to say about him. He has been the most disappointing part of what they, Luis Severino 100% has been. But I think they expected a lot of Clark Schmidt coming into the season, and a 4.23 ERA, 1.29 whip, and really no commanding stuff. Like, we were expecting the K stuff to play up again. 22.2% against these Braves. It's not going to be a lot of fun. And I know that they're playing primetime baseball here right now in New York, doing their thing, and we'll see how this all pans out here. It's 3-0 right out of the gate. But I had Kadeh Senga, of course I did. Laddered it up to 8. We'll see where he finishes. He's at 5. Oh, that was surprising. I didn't think he was doing that well. 5 through 3. Now up to 6 through 4. Okay. 66 pitches. We're going to get Kadeh Senga. Anyway, you don't care about that. Let's talk about a lock, shall we? The run line, friends. Yes, there is a huge discrepancy, 115-cent discrepancy here between the run line and the money line. And I was looking at a couple of different things. One, Max Fried, confirmed. Really, really good at pitching. I don't expect it to continue to this level. But we're talking about a team that I have north of a 75% expected win percentage in this spot. Now, again, for the money line, you could maybe go that direction. But I want to go aggressive here. Because Atlanta against Clark Schmidt, with this offense, assuming that you're getting a full, you're going to have the main dudes. The main dudes are going to be here to party. They like to party. They like to party. Atlanta, -1.5, my favorite bet on the board, period. Yes, it's -115. Yes, it is, a little bit above standard juice, but friends, this should be -135 according to moi. So there you go. Best piece of value, 20-cent piece of value here. I expect this line to move it north by the time we get to first pitch. I also expect you to check out BetMGM if you haven't already, and here's why. Number one, you get exposure to another sportsbook where some of the best odds can be at any given point in time. I'm looking at tomorrow's sports, St. Louis, the game we're about to cover. If you are interested in the St. Louis side, which I think makes sense because they're facing the A's, the best current line is -200 at BetMGM. It's -210 over at FanDuel, -205 at DraftKings, -205 at Caesars. It gives you exposure to another book and gives you an opportunity to shop for the best lines every day. And you might say, hey, it's just 5 cents. Who cares? I care. I care because the best thing you can do to improve your betting game is to shop for the best lines every single day, because I know a lot of you aren't doing it. So, hey, check out BetMGM just for the heck of it. Entertain me, if you will. Try them out. But that's not all. If you believe in me as an analyst, if you believe in what I'm able to do for you and helping your betting, jump into that premium Discord for 2 free months. If you hate it, if you can't stand me after, you see that I use caps a lot when I'm sweating baseball, well, such is life. 2 free months. I'll refund your money for you. That's what I'll do. I'll refund free 99. But free 99 is the best 99 to check out 2 free months of OS Premium Discord. So jump into that Discord. And it's not just me. It's Eitan Shander. It's Ben Raza. All the people you know and love here on this channel getting to you there. But that isn't all either. You also get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first wager loses. So you make a bet for $1,000. If it's a +200 money line, you're going to get that $3K into your account. You can withdraw it, go big, spend, you can do whatever you want. But even if it's $20, if that's all that you really want to be firing over at BetMGM, that's fine too. If it loses those $20, you're going to get it back in bonus bets. So you'll have $20 to fire again, all the way up to $1,000. No matter what you are, what you have for a bankroll, no matter what you are looking at, you have an opportunity to take advantage of a great opportunity to make a lot of cash over at BetMGM. Only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. We head to St. Louis. Others just smoke and stuff all day. It's a good song. Anyway, they're going to be hosting the Oakland Athletics, who are not a good baseball team. That is for darn sure. We got JP Sears on the mound, the Southpaw, going up against this St. Louis team. And I'm going to get into him in a second because that's where my play is going to revolve around. But let's start with Miles Michaelis. I'm not in love with him. 283 expected batting average, 16.5% K rate. It's not good. Those are really, really bad numbers. He's regressed in a pretty major way, but there's no doubt that this is a great spot facing this St. Louis team that is, facing this Oakland team that's just horrendous. 25.2% K rate, an 87 WRC plus against right-handed pitching on the season. Neither of those numbers are good. Both of those numbers are very, very bad, in fact. So we're looking at a team that we don't really want to be backing at a minus 200 number. I have this about perfectly efficient. Don't really want to back them on the run line, although I thought about it. Zach Geloff just keeps going nuts, and then Oakland gives up 6 runs in the 9th, and it's whatever, half unit, just wasting away in Margaritaville. Margaritaville's going to be where this entire A's team goes at the end of this season. And part of that is starting pitching like JP Sears, who actually isn't that bad. I think he's one of the better pitchers that they have. Him and Paul Blackburn. Put him in a Ziploc bag and save him for later. Take him, put him in your golf bag. Have a sandwich. Just me? Okay, that's just me. Who does that stuff? But a 330 xwOBA. xwOBA. Okay, that's a new one. 330 xwOBA, 458 expected slugging. 22.4% K rate. Nothing terrible across the board, but big thing, 24.1 degree average launch angle on balls in play with a 37.7 degree fly ball rate. If he's got a 458 expected slugging against that, and he's facing a bunch of righties in Wilson Contreras and Jordan Walker and Nolan Arenado, obviously, well, that could be problematic, but it's especially problematic against a guy who had over a 200 WRC plus, smashes baseballs with a 50.4% hard hit percentage. It's the highest number on the team. I'm, of course, talking about Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt going to go very far into that St. Louis sky. Oh, I can see it now. Better than plus 375, Paul Goldschmidt. He's going to go on JP Sears. I thought about locking this. I thought about it. My sheet is kind of like on the borderline of it, but it's a 9-game slate, and a lot of you have been really mad at me, which is understandable. I'm here to make you money, but Tuesday, split locks. Wednesday, split locks. Thursday was a disaster of epic proportions, basically like Armageddon. And then Friday, we hit both locks. So overall, if you're just playing the locks as straight bets, you're not mad at me because you're probably okay. If you're parlaying them, you're probably mad at me. I don't know what to tell you. So I'm not going to lock another thing here. You are going to have to decide if it makes sense to just take likes, locks, throw them together in a smorgasbord. I don't know, jambalaya. It's delicious. It can be delicious. You just got to find the right mixture. It's all up to you. Add the seasoning. How spicy you want it? How spicy do you want it? We have one lock on the board from today, and Atlanta's going to just smash their faces in. But in this spot, I also expect the Texas Rangers to smash the faces of the Angels, but there's at least enough offensive potency here with Shohei Ohtani, Brandon Drury, everything so Drury. Randall Grichuk. We've got Mike Moustakas, who's been better, 43.2% hard hit percentage. Hunter Renfroe. There's a lot of names. CJ Cron, my dude, with a 478 expected slugging. That's a lot of dudes with a lot of power against a fly ball pitcher, but that fly ball pitcher happens to be really good. His name's Max Scherzer. 212 expected batting average, 27.4% K rate. And going to Arlington used to be an offensive juggernaut type of situation, especially in the summer. When I met you in the summer. But now it's not, because this new ballpark, since they introduced it a couple years ago, has really mitigated power. So it's a huge downgrade for the likes of the Shohei Ohtanis, the likes of the Brandon Drurys and Randall Grichuks, because, well, their power isn't going to play up the way it would at Angels Stadium. So Max Scherzer, nice to be him. Nice to be on a winning baseball team, even though that's what you expected at the beginning of the year. It's just the Mets aren't that. 212 expected batting average, 27.4% K rate. The four-seamer starting to do things that we need to. He's got to be nervous about that 9.6% barrel percentage going up against the likes of this team. But Max Scherzer's always been good for like a solo shot or two from time to time, and I don't think that will get crazy out of play for him here. Just got to be, I don't know, just give the whole 4 to Shohei and let him walk. But Patrick Sandoval here on the other side's friends. 1.38 whip. 4.02 ERA. I'm not an ERA guy because, again, expected ERA matters way more. It's predictive of the future, which is what I'm trying to do for you. 395 expected slugging and 35.5% hard hit percentage. Good stuff. Ball keeps getting put in play. 257 expected batting average, 9.6% walk rate. So he's kind of shooting himself in the foot too. And there are some dudes on this Rangers team, even though you're still sitting there waiting, wishing you believed in superstition, hoping Josh Young would see the signs. Josh Young still on the shelf, broken finger. But Corey Seager, pretty good. Adolis Garcia, pretty good. Ezekiel Duran, pretty good. Lindy Taveras, 276 expected batting average, pretty good. I mean, this team is really stacked 1 through 9, and Robbie Grossman getting an opportunity to probably bat 6th against a lefty here. I don't completely hate that either. 350 expected slugging, but way better numbers as a switcher, but way better numbers as a righty. So I do expect him to be up there in that lineup here. So what are we doing? I mean, we're obviously betting the Texas Rangers, but I might try to piece this together with Scherzer. Haven't completely decided, but as it stands right now, friends, Texas on the run line. Yeah, we'll run. Lay a run and a half here. You can. I did like a Beavis and Butthead thing. Yeah. I'm older than you. Kansas City. I'm going to do that every time when I talk about them because I'm ready for football. They're going to be hosting the Seattle Mariners, who got beat up by the Orioles over the weekend. I'm like that guy next to the tree. Every time. Baltimore money line. Just every time. Friends. Baltimore. I had people in the private Discord not exactly thrilled with me either. They're like, oh, Seattle's playing so good. Seattle's going to beat them. Saturday, Baltimore. Sunday, Baltimore. Friday, I think was even George Kirby had a smash, and it was still, I think, 1-0 Baltimore. Yeah. Just hanging around the tree. But anyway, Kansas City. They're on the mound with Brady Singer. Logan Gilbert. What am I doing here? Am I seriously going to do this? I think I already did. Yeah, I bet it. This is gross. Logan Gilbert. He's not a bad pitcher by any means. I do like his stuff to a certain extent. It's just that I think a lot of his major problems are barrel rate, 9.3% in that category, and bad catching. We're talking Tom Murphy, I think, is probably in line. Him or Cal Raleigh here. Both of them, not my favorite defensive catchers behind the dish. Slow pop-up times for both of them. Pretty weak arms as well. They average less than 85 miles per hour. So if you have speed at the top of a lineup, I don't think it's talked about enough how live you can be against guys like that. And, well, Bobby Witt, he's got power. He's got speed. You got Samad Taylor who got called up. He's really fast. Daron Blanco. I don't know where these fools are going to be in the back half of the lineup, but I know for damn sure that if they get on base, that they are going to be running against Gilbert and these catchers. So just giddy up, Daddy. Giddy up. Anyway, on the other side of this one, Brady Singer he's had a terrible year. 50.4% hard hit percentage, 277 expected batting average, but I have been kind of backing him a little bit more than I probably should have of lately, but it's gone well. Back-to-back wins, Boston, the Mets. Again, both of them, it was more of a value thing, but the stuff is starting to play live, but specifically because the ground balls have started to show back up. Against Minnesota, the start before it, he had a hard luck not to get a win there. 10 Ks in 5 innings against my Twins. 7 ground balls, 0 fly balls. Against the Mets, same thing. 13 ground balls to 5 fly balls. We're talking 9 ground balls to 6 fly balls against Boston in Fenway, which is what you need to do to succeed in those spots. The ground ball rate has gone up to nearly 50%. We're sitting at 49.4% now on the season after he was giving up a 50.4% hard hit percentage with a ton of fly balls. In fact, a lot of balls just leaving the yard in general. I think on the season, he had 13 homers that he had given up. And now he's only given up 1 in his last 4 outings. So improving those numbers, improving them for sure. Yeah, we went on a deep dive for this one because I had to prove to you I'm not an insane person, but I might be. Kansas City money line. Yeah, are they a good baseball team? No. 38-81 on the season. But we're going to back them against a Seattle team. Again, for all you traveling people, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, they're heading to Kansas City. Going to be hot, going to be humid, but I also think speed is going to play up. And now you can't hide Logan Gilbert behind them lion eyes. And your smile is in disguise. Shout out the Eagles. 3 games to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, as we have to make up some analysis. Yes, we have to make up some analysis, but I think we're going to be paying attention to who Arizona's starter is going to be. They've started to fall into that realm of teams. Can't believe how fast and furious it has fallen. It might as well be Fast and Furious 12, where everybody gets in a, flying car crash, because that's what this is kind of being. I think it's Merrill Kelly, even though he was day-to-day. Got pulled with a right leg cramp last time out. I think it's going to be Merrill Kelly, though. It does line up to be Merrill's start here. He's really good. 3.05 ERA, 1.17 whip, but coming off of a leg cramp and coming into Coors Field, and his K stuff isn't the reason that I necessarily go out and like him. So, obviously at altitude, there's that whole thing where it doesn't really matter as much to him, but I think it still does, mainly because I think you still have to run into some lefty power that could play up for him. Ryan McMahon, Brendan Rodgers out there, Nolan Jones specifically as well. Nolan Jones, Ryan McMahon, 2 guys I'm paying close attention to also. I was watching the game on Sunday. I had no idea Cole Tucker was even on this baseball team. Yeah, he's a Rocky now. Who'd have thunk it? Switch hitter, but basically just going to be in there for defense, and they need fresh bodies in Colorado. But guys, it's Chris Flexen, and you should know by now. Chris Flexen, I stay flexing in my candy pay, rolling dank, sip and drink on an 84 swing. I hope you do too, because he's really, really bad. 396 xWOBA, 533 expected slugging with a sub 15% K rate and a 10% walk rate. Zoik Scoob. Yeah, Tommy Pham. Probably one of the unluckiest dudes ever. Maybe don't slap Jock Peterson over fantasy football. That'd be a good idea. But Tommy Pham, 509 expected slugging. Friends. Got to be paying close attention to this one. Want you checking it out. Need you checking this line out. Over infinity runs, because Flexen is awfully bad at his job. Hey, we have that in common. My dog agrees. Dude, you're fine. Over infinity runs. I'm not doing that again. I talked about it earlier, but not like you were listening to me. The Baltimore Orioles taking on the San Diego Padres. We're at the point of the season where you should know by now. Baltimore is one of the best teams you could possibly be backing from day one, and they still get no love, no respect on the road. And I expect that same case to be what we have here against the San Diego team, that against right-handed pitching and Grayson Rodriguez. They are under a 100 WRC plus on the season, so below league average, which is wild to think about because they spent $1 quadrillion on their baseball team. I think the math checks out there. But Grayson Rodriguez, you should know by now also, he's not my favorite pitcher to back on planet Earth, but you know what I get? If he survives somehow with his 446 expected slugging, 46.9% hard hit percentage, 9.5% barrel rate, you know what I get? Value on backing this lineup. And this lineup is phenomenal. Now, for San Diego on the other side of this one, they have a couple of different options on who their starter could be. I think it ends up being Yu Darvish because it does line up to be his day, but some teams extend to 6-man rotations from 5-man rotations, and it kind of starts about now, where you have the Mondays where, not a lot of teams, you have 9 games on the slate. Some teams get a day off. And then the next week, it'll be other teams where it's mixing and matching. So it sets up for, it'll be a 6-day week for a lot of people. Thursday, you're missing a lot of teams as well. So San Diego, I do expect Yu Darvish to be the guy. And looking at his numbers, you don't want to go out of your way to go pick on him routinely, but 301 xWOBA, 373 expected slugging, 25% K rate. These are really good numbers, but it should inflate our opportunity to get an even better plus money number here on Baltimore. So anything better than plus 145, which I 100% expect if it's Yu Darvish versus Grayson Rodriguez, that's like break even number. So I would want it better than plus 155. And I totally expect us to get that here. And this Baltimore lineup is just flipping good against righties. They don't strike out a whole heck of a lot, 22.6%. They're a league average 100 WRC plus, but a 169 ISO that's gone up because Gunnar Henderson's figured it out, friends. Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman at the top of this lineup. Give me all that you got in a bag of potato chips. Go Baltimore. We're leaning there because we don't have a number, but if you want to know if this officially makes the card, which I totally expect it to, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. And the last game of the night, we have the Tampa Bay Rays. We have the San Francisco Giants. I'm telling you right now, probably going to be a bullpen spot here. And the one team that's going to be the most annoying for us coming down to the end of the year is the San Francisco Giants. They're the last game of the night. They never announce their starting pitching until like the next afternoon. Like we're talking like 3 p.m. Eastern time, maybe, of that day. And then there's always a bunch of openers, and that's going to be exactly what we run into here. Ryan Walker expected to get the start because that's what they've done in some of these bullpen scenarios. But then you have to go through who's going to be the long reliever, and they generally don't tell you who it's going to be until that afternoon. And then even still, you have to guess on what that pitch count is going to look like. So I don't enjoy it. From a real baseball perspective, if you're a Giants fan, though, that's probably a good way to do it from time to time, as long as the pitchers are comfortable with it. Keeps teams off balance. But when you got a guy like Tyler Glass now on the mound here for the Tampa Bay Rays, going into San Francisco, one of the most pitcher-friendly parks in baseball with a 34.5% K rate, Daddy like me. Daddy like me a lot. 100 Ks. Let's bet him up to 100 Ks. Tyler Glass now to 100 Ks. I thought that was funny, 100 Ks. But legitimately, I don't even know where this line's going to open. No clue. There are so many scenarios where it opens at 9.5 and then maybe plus money on the over. I don't know where we're looking at. I'm hoping it's 8.5 with something not egregious on the over here, but I'm going to be paying the most attention out of any prop. Tyler Glass now. This is when I want to know what the books think to see if I disagree and see if there's some value there. Because again, the guy's really good. Now he's pitching mid-90s pitches every time out. 8, 9, 7, 8. 11, 12 Ks. Those are his last 6 games. Those are ridiculous numbers. And now San Francisco, not exactly liberal in the old strikeout department against righties. 24.5% K rate, 5th highest mark in baseball. Tyler Glass now. You want to know the play? Hit me up on X. Yes, twitter.com, x.com, whatever the hell they're calling themselves these days. At Eric Lindquist. Happy to let you know if it's on the call. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on Monday's card. I'm excited for this week. Excited to keep Friday's momentum rolling here on these videos for you. I'm, of course, going to be doing Lindy's Locks update over on my Twitter/X. Just follow me at Eric Lindquist, my name. I'll be firing that one up. BetMGM, check them out. Only for 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But that link is down below for you if you are interested for all this free stuff that's right there. That's cool. Thank you, Papa Roach. Jacob Roach here on the Turnstiles. Great stuff by him. As always, I'm Eric Lindquist, friends. See you on Tuesday. But until then, best of luck in the MLB streets on Monday. I'm a little rusty.